All right, so this is day 16 of this journey to doing a show. And I said from the very beginning that I would share everything with everybody, ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the tough days, the good days. And this week has been tough, and like last weekend. So I want to share real quick. I've been upping my calorie intake. I'm not on cycle yet. And I ate like 1,500 calories over 3 days and lost 2 pounds. I was pissed. I was pissed. I was like, what? Anyway, I upped my calories for like the last 3 days and was able to put on a little bit of weight. So I think I was just not eating enough. It seemed like an awful lot. 5,000 calories seemed like it was going to be enough. Looks like 6,000 is closer to what I'm going to need. And then probably when I go on cycle, closer to 6,500 or 7,000 calories. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take, but I am going to be aggressive about it. And, but today, really, I had a terrible hiccup. Um, I have a absolutely disastrous back, which hasn't caused me much problems over the last 13 years because of all the work I've put in. And today, taking a 45-pound plate off of the leg press to load the actual leg press for a client, um, I completely fucked my back up. I mean, within 5 minutes, I couldn't walk. Every time I sat down for more than 2 minutes all day long, and tried to stand up and take a step, I couldn't even take a step. I had to grab like a piece of PVC pipe or a mobility stick and use it as like a makeshift cane. And I was like, what? Like, what the fuck? It was the most agonizing pain I've been in like the better part of a decade. Um, and this is where mindset comes in. This is where understanding your body and understanding not just the science that we know, the mechanics, but alternative medicine is something that I'm talking a lot about lately. But I've talked about over the last decade, where there's lots of other things we can do other than taking pills to fix what's going on in our body. That if we just listen to our body and we're in touch and in tune with certain things, um, a lot of stuff can be fixed through stretching, diet, meditation, stress relief, getting a good night's sleep. I mean, there's so many different things that we just don't consider anymore, and that's a shame. So all day long, I'm sitting down to do a little bit of work. I go to stand back up. I can't walk. I'm literally using the chair to like get to the door to get out of my office. And then I've got to grab a mobility stick and shuffle around the gym for like 10 minutes and do some stretches and lay on a lacrosse ball and try to loosen up my piriformis and my erector muscles. And everything seems to help temporarily, but nothing, as soon as I sit down again or make a bad movement or something, like the pain it was just back, and it was so debilitating. So I threw everything that I knew at this, and even got a few suggestions, and I was certainly willing to go to our chiropractor that's in house and have him, check me out and see what was going on, what he thought. But what I really wanted to do is maybe go get a massage. I wanted to get some acupuncture, but it's not like you can just be like, hey, I need an appointment in 15 minutes. Most, acupuncturists that I know are booked well in advance, and they're booked pretty tight. The idea that they're going to be able to fit somebody in at a moment's notice is not always realistic. And we're getting like well into the afternoon and nothing seems to be improving. And I thought to myself, I haven't done any breath work and I haven't done any Qigong. Can't hurt. Somebody was like, you're going to do Qigong? You can barely walk. I do what I can. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It has to be about intention, and it has to be about connecting with the channels that are in your body and understanding how the energy flows through those channels, and that maybe something is going on and blocking those channels from allowing energy to be dispersed evenly throughout your body. And the lack of that energy in one part of your body and the abundance of it in another part of your body causes an imbalance. And so I figured, what the heck, give it a try. Maybe I got some sort of energy imbalance. So I did breath work for about 10 minutes, and then I led into a slow Qigong warm-up, and then something a little bit more intense. And when I say intense, there were some pretty fast and deliberate movements in it. But, I felt the change in my muscle fascia almost instantly when I started doing the breath work. And then that loosened things up enough to be able to move around and do some practice and to make a point. Because people were like, are you sure? A lot of people don't understand how that stuff works. So when they see somebody do it or they hear about somebody using alternative methods other than just eating a bunch of ibuprofen or going to see a surgeon or going to get an MRI or all this other stuff, like, I know my body. I inherently know what it needs. I inherently understand how it works. And I'm in touch with it. So some of this maybe comes more naturally to me than others. That doesn't mean that you can't learn it. I mean, I'm still learning it, but I already kind of had this sense. I just didn't know what to call it, right? I didn't know what Qigong was. I didn't know what breath work was. I didn't understand. I tried yoga, which is also very helpful, but I didn't really fully understand it. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm more open to things like that. And so to make a point, when I got done all of this, having had to walk with a walking stick where I couldn't walk, like I would fall on the floor, 30 minutes beforehand, and after the session, I was able to do a cartwheel. That's right. I was able to go from barely being able to walk with a walking stick to being able to do a cartwheel. And tomorrow, I'm going to lift. So I went from the worst pain that I've had, the worst spasm, whatever it was, in my right glute and lower back than I've had in a decade easily. Completely debilitating. To practicing something that's natural healing for 25 minutes. And I'm going to have a good night's sleep. And I feel good. And I'm going to lift. I'm going to continue to chase my goals tomorrow and help people. And I probably won't do back or legs. I'm not dumb. But it's crazy to me that we are still in a belief system where, we depend on modern medical interventions when we don't need to. If you break a bone, somebody needs to put you in a cast and somebody needs to make sure that that bone is set, right? And if your appendix bursts, you need immediate surgery, right? There's a place for modern medicine and modern intervention. But there's so much that we can do through our mindset our diet, and natural ways of healing, movement being one of them, that I think that it's completely underutilized. And so I hope that people will take advantage of my good friend Josh, who is a level 3 Qigong healer. He's going to be teaching a class for the next 12 weeks in conjunction with a program that we're doing called Fit Over 30, and it's for anyone that's 30, 40, 50, 60, even 70 years old, who wants to be in better shape, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We're trying to encompass the whole thing. We want people to eat better, live better, feel better, sleep better, manage stress better. Because being physically fit is such a huge part of that. But it's just like a small piece of the puzzle. And how we interact with the rest of the world and our family and our friends and our coworkers, and how we feel inside, and how we are able to participate in this universe is a reflection of how we feel. So, why wouldn't we want to feel our best and be our best? Anyway, just wanted to check in with you guys and say, despite it being sort of a rough day and a rough week on my journey, I'm really super thankful and grateful that I continue to have more and more tools that I can rely on to help me on my journey.